I wanted to talk about this, and I know it's not related to anime by any means, but I do think there's a valuable lesson that we can all learn from the killer. There's a quote that the character, the killer, says where he says, anticipate, don't improvise. And I can vouch for this because I did sales for the past 2 years, and I realized that us as salespeople, who try to sell, we have this different concept and this upper hand in a sense because we don't have to improvise. We've had the same conversation time and time again, so we understand exactly what the prospect, the person that we're selling to, is going to be saying, and then we understand how to handle said objection. And this is why it's better to anticipate over improvise, because when we're improvising, we don't know what we're going to be saying next. We don't know where the story is going to be. We don't have any plan, any preparation, anything in the works that is going to allow us to succeed in the ways that we're wanting to. Whereas when we anticipate the outcome in the best ways that we can. Obviously, we can't anticipate everything because the world in the future is uncertain in a sense, and I can talk about that in another video with another anime or TV show that I can relate it to. What I wanted to say is when we anticipate what's going to be coming, so say we prepare for our videos, we batch sequences, we read books, we have conversations, ask questions, we prepare ourselves in advance compared to improvising, we can scale and move a lot quicker than if we just jumped right in and was like, I'm just going to improvise. I'm going to figure this out as I go. Because I've done that for many years and I still kind of do in a sense. It's just I've had so much preparation and so much time to prepare and understand how I can make, say, said event work. Like when I do my coaching or when I do my sales calls or when I make my videos, it's like I've been doing it for this channel for 3 years, and I've been making other videos for 6 years on another channel, and I've been making other videos since I was a very young kid. So I've done a lot of preparation. So me coming on and chatting about these and having these conversations with you right now, it is just as if I'm, say, out in public and I'm talking to a stranger that I meet on the street, and we get onto the topic of like, oh, hey, what do you do? And it's just like, oh, I make YouTube videos, I do coaching, I help people live the best life that they want to live by breaking beliefs that they have within themselves, because I have gone through it myself. And that's where the aspect of me anticipating what the outcome is going to be and where the conversation is going to lead, I can make those small little adjustments, tweaks, and turns to make sure that I can get to that next place. Whereas if I was just improvising and being like, okay, I'm just going to jump into this and have no idea what's going to happen, then it doesn't work all that well. I typically end up going out with at least a couple of questions, a general idea of what I want to happen. Whereas with the content that I do IRL, I do have kind of a general idea or synopsis of the video or the topic that I want to talk about. Like this video, for example. I knew that I wanted to talk about anticipation versus improvisation, if that's even a word. And I wanted to talk about that because it was something that after watching the movie, I was like, anticipate versus improvise. And I went on a nice long walk around the neighborhood, and I was thinking about that. I was like, anticipate versus improvise. And that got me thinking. I was like, okay, so that's why, say, weddings work so well, or that's why like other calls, conversations, videos, TV shows work so well, is because they anticipate the story and they anticipate how it's going to flow throughout time. And then it does very well for itself. Whereas if they just jumped on and was like, I'm just going to improvise, I'm just going to spit some facts out over things that I have not done myself, then it's not going to work out as well. So in order for me to have had the amount of success that I have with sales, with video creating, with YouTube, and talking to you guys, well, I guess just talking to you right now, the main thing is, like, I just anticipated what I wanted to do, and I started to take the necessary skills and steps to be able to get to that place, such as reading books, listening to podcasts, watching movies, and looking at the movie in a sense of like, okay, what is this here to teach me? Because everything that we see and experience is coming into our reality for a reason or a season or a lifetime. And you can look at that in any number of ways. Like if you look back and be like, okay, where was a time when I improvised and how did that work out for me? Whereas it's like, okay, well, where was a time when I anticipated what was going to happen? Let's say taking a test in college or in high school or in your job or whatever it may be. It's like, okay, if I'm just going to improvise this test. I'm just going to improvise. I'm just going to have a shot in the dark. I have no idea how well it's going to go. I'm not going to worry about my inputs. I'm just going to show up and I'm going to get an A. It's like, that's not how it works. I anticipated that I'm going to have to study X amount of hours, do this many videos, read this many books or podcasts, whatever it may be, to get me to said destination. The destination isn't a guarantee, but all I can say is like the destination shouldn't be the place that you're wanting to get to. The place that you should be wanting to do, at least from my personal take on this, is just walking, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the stops, enjoying the conversations, the people that we see all around us. And that comes through anticipating what you want out of life. And if you anticipate what you want out of life, you'll start to read books, experience other people, have conversations, meet new friends, maybe stop doing old things that you had done in the past. It doesn't have to be forever. Like I stopped watching anime and movies and TV for months, years at a time, and spent a lot of time out in the deserts and meditated and just self-discovery through journaling, as I was anticipating what my future was going to look like by putting in the work in the past. And by doing so, it helped me understand that I can create and cultivate a future that I can be proud of, and I can become a man that can stand tall and face problems and adversities and challenges with his head held high. Whereas if I didn't anticipate and I just improvised what I wanted to do in my future and the person that I wanted to be, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I believe that's the number one trait that I have been able to come to, is I just do what other people aren't wanting to do. I do things that are challenging. I do things that in the moment may seem idiotic, may seem dumb. And when I look back, it's like I'm grateful that I did said thing, reading the book, listening to the podcast, asking the girl, making the mistake, whatever it is, trying the new job, making the phone call, asking for clients or likes or shares, which I'll ask for a little share here, which if anybody else has seen The Killer or anybody you know would find this video valuable because they're improvising more than not, and then it's people that you hate as well too. You can send it over to them and see if maybe there's some impact. And you might not get a response, and that's perfectly okay. When I do these videos, I don't typically expect a response. It's more just my way to express my ideas and my creativity and the thoughts that go on in my head, so I can look back and be like, okay, this is what I was thinking at this time, and okay, wow, I really have come far over these past 3 years. Because when we look back and we think like, oh, I haven't done all that much, and then when we document every single thing that we do every day, it's like, oh, okay, this has helped me get closer to the place that I wanted to get to because I anticipated the outcome compared to improvising.